we've looked at predicate calculus. So predicate calculus helps us bind variables to statements so we can actually make predicates into propositions. And another way we do it is to look at these quantifiers. The for all quantifier is called the universal quantifier, and the there exists quantifier is called the existential quantifier. So I put in quotes what I normally say when I read it out loud, and in the parentheses is like when someone refers to it without having written it down on a piece of paper. So if they say, oh, I'm going to use the universal quantifier, they mean the for all. And by the way, it is a pet peeve of mine for you to write the same way of what you put in WebAssign. So in WebAssign, you're going to have to put a big A because you can't make upside down A's on your keyboard. But when you write it on your paper, please write regular A's, like regular for alls. Don't write capital A's, okay? And don't write E's for there exists, because it's supposed to be backwards. Because that's what we use it for, because we use regular letters to represent variables, and we use backwards letters. We use these letters to represent the quantifiers. Remember that you're learning like 10 different languages in here. And one of the languages is predicate calculus, and this is the way we write it. Thank you. Okay, so the quantifier is going to check over the universe of discourse to see how often a predicate is true. So we just talked about for all. And remember, for all is like an and across the entire input space. So all the x values, I have to take p of 1, p of 2, p of 3, everything, and AND it all together, and that has to be true in order to get a true. So for all is like and there exists is like what? It's like or across the input space. So there exists x, p of x is actually going to look at all the possible values, and if any one of them is true, it'll be true. So for all acts like and across all the inputs, and there exists is an or across all the inputs. And the inputs are whatever variable comes after this. It's often going to be x, but it could be d or l or pumpkins. It doesn't matter. We can use squares, triangles. Anything can be quantified, because we're going to treat it like an abstract variable position holder.